Happy 4th of July, everyone. If this video sounds like the South Side of Chicago, just know it's because my neighbors are busy celebrating America by blowing up the sky. And yeah, I didn't upload last week, mostly because my children decided I get free time as often as Ty Dillon finishes on the lead lap. So this week, we are going to go through races like Red Bull goes through second drivers, rapidly and without regard to human suffering. Starting in Wisconsin, IndyCar was at Road America. Starting in Wisconsin, IndyCar was at Road America for the XPEL Grand Prix. This race was a banger, as in cars banged off the barrier and curbs. On lap flip-frackin' 1, David Malukas yeets himself into the sand trap, bringing out the caution. Well done. And then on lap 4, when we go back to green, Robert Schwartzman spins in Canada corner. Because of course he does. Another caution. Maybe one day we can go green for a whole lap. On lap 10, Stingray Rob decides he doesn't need brakes and sends it into the wall and then into the tire barrier. I know you're trying to do miracles to recruit for your cult, sir, but maybe actively trying to get yourself killed isn't a good idea. On lap 29, Joseph Newgarden cooks it a bit too much in turn 14, spinning out and tearing up his car, ending his day. I think Joseph has overtaken Colton Herta in the pain index this season. Then finally the race settles in with some decent action up and down the grid, and it comes down to a battle between Scott Dixon leading Alex Palou on fuel strategy. But Scott was short, so came into pit, handing yet another win to Alex. So Alex Palou wins and continues his crusade to crush the hopes and dreams of all the other drivers and fans. Hey, at least he did it in a new livery this time. Just kidding, that's not a good thing. Also, Santino Ferrucci got the fans to toss him a beer after the race and then cracked it open and downed it on track. What a legend. From a banger to not good race. I can't rhyme. The Great American Getaway 400 at Pocono, NASCAR's Tricky Triangle. Denny Hamlin leads the field to green, and there's some decent action for the first lap or so, but then stretches out into a single-file processional. So exciting. Then Riley Herbst and then Bubba Wallace both smack the wall and end their days. And I forgot to give a shit. On lap 83, the monsoon of shit happens on the backstretch. Kyle Busch, SVG, and Christopher Bell are all involved in the crash at the back of the field. Another week, another Kyle Busch crash. You can almost set your watch to it, if you have a watch that still needs set like some sort of poor person. I'm going to have to stop and feed this child. So Chase Briscoe ends up taking the lead of the race. Beloved, we are gathered here today to lay to rest a great friend whose constant hilarity brought smiles to all. The Chase Briscoe depression meter gave and gave, never once complained about its lot in life as the whipping boy for this channel, and was genuinely a segment I enjoyed bringing back week after week. The depression meter was brutally murdered when Chase Briscoe won at Pocono, and none of you did a damn thing to save it. You just stood there and watched as Chase Briscoe was able to hold off Denny Hamlin. Rip in peace, my first recurring gag. I will never forget you. This tie is a Constitution tie given to me by a fraternity brother. Shout out to you, David. So I'm going to keep it on because I think it goes with the vibe. Speaking of Chase Briscoe holding off Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe completely screwed up his final pit stop by leaving too early, meaning he did not get all the gas he was supposed to. This should have shorted him for the end of the race. So at the end, Chase was running around the track trying to save fuel like I am trying to save my hairline. Yes, I wear a ball cap in these videos to hide the fact I'm balding and to hide the glare. You would think that a car that is running off the pace would be no match for a car behind able to run nearly flat out. But this is the next-gen car, so of course that doesn't work. Because why would we want to see a late pass for the lead when we can just see cars struggling in the corner in dirty air? Oh, magic 8-ball of NASCAR, will we ever see a return to good racing instead of aero-blocking parades? Go fuck yourself, you fat bastard. Well, that's just rude. Now it's time for crowbarring in 2 more races into the script with Boogity Buffoonery, the part of the show where Boogity Buffoonery crowbars in 2 more races into the script. And now it's time for Silly Songs with Larry, the part of the show where Larry sings a silly song. The Quaker State 400 available at Walmart at Echo Park Speedway. That sentence just hurt my soul. It's Atlanta Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. On lap 57, Christopher Bell gets loose in front of Kyle Larson and Austin Dillon and eventually collects Ryan Blaney. This would ultimately end Ryan Blaney's day. This is now the 6th DNF for Ryan this year, but thanks to the playoffs, he'll still somehow, some way, bullshit his way into winning the championship. On lap 69, nice. The big one happens, collecting like 27 cars. It all started with John Hunter Nemechek getting squirrely, putting Denny Hamlin into the wall, and starting the nuclear chain reaction of terrible. For his war crime, John Hunter Nemechek was sentenced to go hunting with Dick Cheney. This ultimately red flags the race as NASCAR and the wreckers pick their way through the boneyard of hopes and dreams on the backstretch. The race would continue with a couple more cautions, but coming to the last lap, Chase Elliott is running down Brad Keselowski on the front stretch into turn 1, making the move on Brad and gaining the lead. Luckily for Chase, teammate Alex Bowman was in third, meaning Brad K had about as much chance of getting a push as I have to making it to 40 without a heart attack. Can it really be the win that was promised? Dear God, that was a long time coming. Yes, it's true. Chase Elliott remembered he was supposed to be good at driving and wins at his home race. The world is healing. From a race that made me happy to a race that made me mildly confused. The Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring. It's going to tighten this up to protect me from the communism from Europe. Before the race could even get underway, Carlos Sainz's car decides it did not in fact want to go vroom and gets stuck on the grid for the formation lap. As the rest of the field was coming back down to the grid, he would finally get it going for his lap. At the end of it, he would pull into the pit lane where the ass end of his car would burst into flames. I really don't know what happened to Williams. They're returning to the dumpster fire they have been in the past seasons. So Lando Norris is on pole, and it's lights out, and please God, let the pain end. Lando Norris keeps the lead in turn 1, and Oscar Piastri drives around the outside of Charles Leclerc as if he wasn't even there. Cue the Ferrari tears. In turn 3, we all learned that Osama bin Russell had radicalized Kimi Antonelli against Red Bull. Kimi locks it up and drives straight into the side of mastectomy, knocking him out of Red Bull's home race 3 corners in. For this obvious crime against Austria, Kimi Antonelli was sentenced to suffer a career as developed by Helmut Marko. R.I.P. Kimi, and shout out to his spaghetti. And really, we should have seen this coming. Our GOAT, Rocket Powered Mohawk, has been trying to warn us, but y'all have been too busy screaming at him for not uploading. I hope you're happy with yourself. So with the only real competition eliminated, the McLarens fuck off into the distance, and the only real question is, would we get a battle? And the answer is yes, for a bit. Lando would go on to win ahead of Oscar Piastri, ahead of the 2 Ferrari drivers. Now let's get to some awards. Dear God, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. The This Is Why No One Likes You, You Big Dumb Dipshit award goes to NASCAR for continuing to allow the next-gen car to ruin racing. I legitimately want to know if anyone has anything positive to say about this car. Like, seriously, if you like this car, let me know, because I'm starting to believe this car was selected as part of a larger conspiracy by NASCAR to destroy the sport. The Thank God Your Cult Followers Are Not Fellow Drivers award goes to Stingray Rob. Like, seriously, if his flock were on track with them, they'd all just fuck it into the wall right behind him. I may be in that cult. Anywho, the What the Fuck Are You Doing award goes to Brad Keselowski for coming on to pit road from the lead of the race, mind you, while pit road was closed. It's almost like they should use a clear indicator on whether pit road is open or closed. And it could even have flashing lights, and oh wait, we have that. The Seriously Fox Broadcast Suck Award goes to Fox because I'm about done with Fox ruining motorsports. My particular issue was the technical glitches and overall poor direction from Road America. The scoring on the left is still there and it's still dumb and makes zero sense. There were times where multiple overlays were present on screen, and more importantly, they showed Chip Ganassi, the owner of a team, and like his driver Alex Palou is the greatest thing ever and the defending champion and has won basically every race. They showed Chip Ganassi on scene, and he's an icon of the sport, but his name doesn't pop up until after it was gone. Shout out Fox, you could fuck up macaroni art. The Toby Keith would be very confused award goes to Alex Palou for winning at Road America in a Solo Cup livery. When he crossed the line, allegedly, and I heard this in passing, I think I heard this once, I'm not saying it actually happened, but allegedly he started singing Toby's song, Red Solo Cup. Now, do I think Toby would be happy his song is iconic across the country, not just across America, but seemingly the world? Yes. But do I think he'd be confused about a Spaniard singing in an IndyCar? Also yes. R.I.P. Toby. I seriously still heartbroken he's gone. The That Race Restored My Faith in Humanity award goes to Atlanta. That race had it all. Big crashes, close action, and actual passes for the lead. I know not every race is going to be that, but I dare someone to tell me Atlanta wasn't better than Pocono, or Texas, or Nashville, or any of these tracks where the field is separated by a mile between each fucking car. Next week, NASCAR is at Chicago for the street race, and IndyCar is at Mid-Ohio. As a resident of God's favorite state, Indiana, I cannot believe both series are in our godless hellhole neighbors. So to review, Chase Briscoe murders imaginary constructs, Alex Palou has a Red Solo Cup party, Fox broadcasters so bad, Chase Elliott won and saved me from the abyss, and the next-gen car will destroy the series it was supposed to save. And as always, fuck Joey Logano.